feel like I don't even know how to do this anymore. If you hear my cat, I'm sorry. Ollie, you know it's been a minute because the last time I recorded a video, she was in heat. And what is she again? In heat. Hi, my name is Kayla. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Sorry that this is so lopsided. I don't have the energy. I can't bring myself to do anything about it. I have not been reading lately at all, and I thought we could talk about it. I made myself some notes. What do I want to start with? So, it's 5:43 on a Tuesday, and I honestly wasn't planning to film today. Sorry, I'm looking to see if my dog peed, but I think it's just the glare. I think we're coming up on is it my YouTube anniversary? Let's see. When's the first video I posted? It says 1 year ago, but hang on, let's see when. It would be so funny. What does 1 year ago? May 11th. My book anniversary was literally, my booktube anniversary was literally yesterday. So whatever I record today, I'm gonna upload. Yeah, I've changed a lot, and it's been gradual, and just here we are. You will notice that I haven't uploaded anything for 3 weeks now, and it doesn't sound like a long time, but I think that when you make content consistently, or like decently consistently, it starts to feel weird really quickly when you're not constantly producing something, and it also kind of feels like you're disappearing a little bit. At least that's how it feels for me. That's how it's felt for me. And I think the truth is I just don't really know what to say, because I'm not really reading. What I am reading, I'm not finishing, and I just have felt very disconnected from like the version of myself who started this channel, or maybe not the version of myself who started this channel, but the version of myself who showed up for this channel. Because when I thought initially to start a YouTube channel, I thought, like I've been saying in the last few videos, that I would allow, openness into my life, so that, and allow this to be a, just like a curation of my different tastes and whatever. And what it turned into was hyperfixation content, because even though books are always a part of my life, even though like literature was what I studied in school for undergrad and grad school, like even though that's important to me, I have what I would call hyperfixation periods where I don't do anything but one thing, and then I burn out, and it's a whole thing. It's just that reading is one of those fixations that for me lasts years, and then I go through maybe a couple of months where it's difficult to find the right book. I think normal people just call that like a reading slump. I don't know. Anywho, I kept thinking that I would come back to my channel when I had a reading wrap up, and or maybe like when I was more productive and felt more put together, or felt like I was doing more. And it just hasn't happened. It's been 3 weeks now, like I said. And so I've also been like on the periphery of all of this, like just watching my views go down as I've started to talk more about wanting to try something new. And some of that I know we can blame on my upload cadence. And, first it was every Saturday, but it was in the morning. And then it was just Saturdays, period. And then creeped into Sundays, and now it's like, who knows? I mean, here I am right now recording on a Tuesday. Who knows if I'll post it today? But anyway, I'd be lying if I said that the views going down wasn't getting to my head, because I felt very edified in starting my channel from having like a pretty decent amount of views. But now, no matter how many new subscribers I get, the views are going down. Yeah, so with viewership, like for me, I started to wonder, do people not connect with me anymore? Am I changing too much by wanting to have more than just book content? Did I build a version of you know, did I build a channel around a version of myself that isn't fully who I am? Yes. But anyway, I don't know. I've been changing a lot over the last year, and so I've been craving slower things. I've been craving more art, as always, and more thoughtfulness, more softness, and I've gradually settled into thinking a bit less about optimizing something or consuming something at a particular pace for, you know, the video, or just like hyper productivity even. And then it's like weird, but I stopped reading partly because reading started to feel very tied to performance, as is possible when, you know, your hobby becomes something that you kind of like put on the internet. And so I felt like if I read a book, I should review it, and then if I review it, it needs to be content, and then if it's content, I should find a way to make it perform better than it's performing. I don't know. And then just everything that made me feel calm and grounded just kind of put more pressure on me. And so I think this video is less of a like comeback and more of a check-in. Hi, how are you? Hi, how am I? And I don't know really what I'm doing. I just know that I miss creating when it feels more real, more connected to me. And I say this like I've been doing this for 10 years. It's been a year, but I just really want to get back to how I felt and how excited I was to be recording a new video and editing a new video and reading because I needed it, you know, reading because I needed it, not because I was trying to make it aesthetic or anything like that. And I feel the same way about journaling, by the way. Like, I've always journaled, and I don't want to do it just because it's aesthetic. I think that it should be a plus that it's aesthetic, and that I should focus on the reasons why I come to the hobbies that I come to, which is, you know, to ground myself and to give myself a way to process what's going on around me. Anyway, if you're in a season where you also feel a little bit disconnected from yourself or from your hobbies or your creativity, you're not alone, because I'm sitting here trying to find my way back to myself too. I guess since we're here, I'll tell you what I have been reading, even though it's not really going anywhere. Hold please. I got a couple things over here. Okay, what am I reading? That's a big chunk of hair. I am reading currently. I'm picking through bits of poems in Ariel. I'm also reading Padre Gotuma's Poetry Unbound. I picked that back up again, and that was really nice. I read a poem, I can't remember the name of it, but it was about the part of Genesis in the Bible where, who's Cain and Abel's dad? That guy is like, I think it's, no, that's a generation in the future. I think it's Isaac and Jacob, or Isaac and Esau. Jacob is a different generation. So like Abraham, the dad, right? Isaac is a brother and Esau is a brother. And one of them fools the dad into getting the blessing, which is like reserved for the firstborn. And I think the mom helps a little bit. I can't remember. I need to refresh my memory on that. But anyway, the poem is based off of that. And I think right before, Padre Gotuma talks about how there are, like, the myths are important because there's something that keep us return. Like, we return to the same myths because we're not done with them, and we recreate them because we're not done with them. And then there's this poem. And anyway, Poetry Unbound, check it out. It's really good. There's a little essay that coincides with every poem, which I love, because I feel like reading poetry in conversation is one of the best ways to consume it. But anyway, this, I think I told you guys I was reading Martyr, and then I stopped reading it. But to tell you how hard it's been to read lately, this was the March to April book club for Jack Edwards' Inklings, okay? And this was the April to May, and by the way, it's May 12th. I read 2 pages in this one. Very easy to get into, by the way. It's not the book, it's me. Like, the writing in here is, it just drops you in. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Sally Rooney's Intermezzo, because I found myself, but it was easier to get into this one a bit more. I don't know, it just was. So this one, I've read 23 pages, so much farther in this one than in this one. What got me back into Martyr, because I did put it down, was listening to his episode on Inklings. I stopped listening to it a third of the way through because I'm like, I don't want you to spoil it for me. And then I read a little bit more and I was really enjoying Cyrus. And then I realized that I wanted to listen to the podcast, and so I just listened to the rest of it anyway. Still want to read the book, struggling. And then I picked this up the other day at the bookstore. I think I had said previously that I had book 2 of the Apothecary Diaries, and that's just because that's what I had on my shelf. And no, that's what Barnes and Noble had on their shelf. And then I wanted to get it, and every time I went to look for book 1, I never found it. Well, now I have it, so I'll read it. I loved the show, or what I've seen of the show so far. I think it's still ongoing. I've watched everything I can that's in English, I believe. Pretty sure. But I love it so much, and I'm so excited to have another way to enter into the world. There was a final thing I wanted to say, but I lost my train of thought. It was about something related to something about, yes, work. So work has been really good. I think I mentioned to you guys that I am currently situated in a particular project at work, and I'm having a lot of fun. I love the team I'm working on. I will be sad, actually, to say goodbye to them. Once the person who's on leave, who I'm filling in for, comes back, I will actually, miss these people, which is nice. It's not always the easiest experience, being more of a contractor and integrating into a work environment that's really, really well established, especially on a very small team. And I feel really lucky that I get to be on the team that I'm on. And it's just been a really eye-opening experience, but in a good way. And I just want to take a moment to be grateful for that. That being said, work has been really, really time-consuming, and I don't just mean work should be time-consuming during work hours, obviously. I think what I mean is that because when I first get onto a team, I tend to make the team everything that's going on, my whole life, where I'm thinking about projects when I'm at home, or maybe I'm even working on a couple of things when I'm at home. Or maybe there's a time-sensitive thing that I just pick up just for a few minutes, and then I, go down the rabbit hole and end up working on something else. It's that kind of thing. And then also the added thing that it's been about 5 years, I believe, 4 years maybe, since I've worked in an office. And I now work in an office 4 out of 5 days a week. And so when you are a person who spends a bit more time by yourself, even with the best people, it can be a little bit draining to be, number one, outside, and number two, pretty close to a team and working really closely together. And so it's I don't know, it's just one of those things. I really can't complain because they're so great. It's just my personality, it's just my personality. Luckily, this has been such a good fit though. And so, but I'm tired. I am tired, guys. Yeah. I also miss my kids. I do. Yes, I do. I miss them. I miss them a lot. So anyway, I felt like I should mention that because I'm sure that because of all the reading I'm doing at work and the writing and stuff I'm doing at work, I think I'm also trying to find myself in the balance of my new normal. And it's crazy because as soon as I adapt, I'll be on to something else because my contract ends sometime between June and July. Until that's like the other kind of like tough thing is I keep kind of like finding a rhythm and like having to readapt. And I'm like somebody who really thrives on consistency, you know, and just like consistency in my day, like knowing this is what my day looks like. My body really responds well to that as well. And I don't know. So it's just been a bit challenging. C'est la vie, I guess. So that's it. That's all I have. Thanks for sitting in here with me, letting me chat a little bit. And thank you for staying. If you stay till the end, happy 1 year book anniversary to me, or books Insta YouTube anniversary. You know what I'm trying to say. I feel like I should, like, I don't know, celebrate more effectively. If you stay till the end and you want to celebrate with me, leave a little cake comment in my comment section. But yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one.